Today, I will be showing you how to use Orion Particle Noiser inside of Houdini and how to export it to the Blender. Today, I will be creating some cool looking particle simulation and exporting to the Blender. Let's get started. Before we start, you'll need Houdini installed and as well as the particle noise system HDA. If you haven't set it up yet, all you gotta do is once you open the program, come up here, Assets, Install Asset Library, click on this button, find the folder where you have the HDAs, select them, hit Accept, and here Install. I'm not going to install right now because I already have mine installed. Okay, right now I will change some settings for visualization purposes. If you do them, you'll be having an easy time visualizing your simulations. So this part is our viewport. Here are parameters, and here are nodes. I'm going to come up to my viewport, press D, and by default, it's going to come as markers here. I'm going to go to background. I'm going to switch color theme to being light to dark. And I'm going to right click this cube UV-ish looking button. And instead of points, I'll be picking pixels. So our first step should be creating a geometry. So I'm going to come up to here, press Tab, hit Geo, enter, and go in. Here, all we got to do is drop down either a sphere or a test, geometry, or your object within the file, but I'm going to be doing some basic simulation today. Once I import my sphere, I'm going to have my settings on. All I'm going to do is I'm going to click this one, bring it way up, 3 meters. I'm going to make sure my radius is much bigger than usual. I'm going to make something like this. And instead of polygon mesh, I'm going to switch to polygon just so I have one slide control. So I'm going to make 12 to have more roundish look. Here, once I have something to scatter points on, I'm going to click this little sphere. Press Tab and type Ori Scatter. You'll see points scatter across the surface, and these are your particles. One thing or two to set up here is in the noises part. Once you open, there's a color variation and particle scale variation. I'm going to enable them both, and I'll just make sure that my colors and sphere is a little big in the default, and that's it. And the other step is once we have some nice looking particles, I always decrease the total particle count by something like 10 times more, 10 times less. And then I run my simulation and then see if the dynamics is working. I'm going to drop down a Ori particle noiser, decided to scatter. And I'll make sure that my real-time toggle is on. And I'm just going to play. Right now, I'm seeing some swirl-looking shapes getting over. That's what I like. But I'm just going to touch this just a little bit. So right now, I'm going to have a wind control button here, as you can see. Instead of being Z as a 1, I'm going to put a -1 in the y-axis, and just to not confuse anyone, in the left bottom corner you can see X, Y, and Z, so you can change it up here. I'm just going to increase the wind speed by maybe 0.5. I'm going to hit click. Right now I'm seeing some stuff start falling. That's great, but I want to have a ground plane that it hits. So I'm just going to come up here and create a ground plane, and then I'm just going to watch. Yes, it hits. By the way, to remove this ground plane, you can go in advanced mode and global operator. Instead of being objects that star, little star, just put pop object, and then you'll just have this. Right now we have a particle simulation that is hitting to the ground. And maybe by the time we'll make this as a default, so you don't have to worry about. So now my particles hitting the ground, right? It's all cool. But I feel like we're missing something. The shape looks too smooth, and this has nothing to do with our particle amount, because even if I put so much, it's still gonna be. There's two ways of fixing this. Is either you once you change this, you go simple mode, and then you go inside of particle noiser and you create a pop force. I found it a little harder than the other method. So you don't have to do all of these. You just gotta go into advanced mode, and in the noise enchanter part, you're gonna have 3 noises by setup by default. If you want more, you can always dive in and change. I'm gonna activate the noise 1. Maybe decrease this roll size a little bit, and I'll increase the amplitude and see what happens. Oh yeah, this looks great. As you can see, we have some nice little breakups. I'll maybe make something like this. Yeah, this looks insane. I like this so much. Now I can increase my particle count by 3 million, and I can just drop down Ori Blender export. Maybe export for 3 seconds. Here you can choose where you want to save your particles. I'm gonna be Orion tutorial. Set to disk, and it's pretty fast actually. It's 3 million points. So it took about 15 seconds. Yeah, about 15 seconds. And yeah, it's about 20. Yeah. And from now on, all I have to do is open a Blender, delete everything here, and just drag down. And I have my points. It's running, it's looking pretty cool. But how we do the shade? How can we get these colors, right? It's so simple actually. First, you need to go shader editor, create a new, press Shift A, color attributes. I'm sure you guys know it better than me. But display color. What I like to do is drop down a ramp and plug it into color and maybe put it 20, showing as 25. And then most importantly, if you don't want to have this all solid looking, you can just decrease the alpha, and that will give you something that is looking ghosty. So I like to do it that way. I'm just gonna switch to cycles. Yes, it looks wonderful, as you can see, compared to the one. Yes. And the very other thing is changing colors. Here we have a ramp from black to white. And what I like to do is I find a good color, one example, red one or orange. I create another color and then another color and then desaturate the lightest one. And then actually what I'll do is black in the background, so I have something that is looking really nice. If you want to change the point size, you can always go into the geometry node editor, create new, Shift A, set point radius. And what I like to keep is 0.0015. Oh, definitely 0.0015. And this works. And as I told you guys, you can always I don't know how to do this, but you guys get what I'm talking about. So you can always create different colors. One example, I'll make it something blue, bluish. It's looking good. And the one last thing, even to make even better looking particles, I'm gonna create a camera. This is hard. Look, the camera view. Let's go here. And then all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go here, create motion blur, and hit a render. I wanna show you guys. Just like Soul. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in other Orion tutorials. Bye bye.